Welcome to the channel, hope you're doing well. I'm Aaron and today we're going to be doing a run through of this pedal right here. This is the Boss RC-30 looper. I wanted to do this for quite some time as I would use it in loads of different applications, and I've also had a few people been asking me how I'm making my loops and how it actually works because it looks a little bit complicated. I can assure you it's not that complicated, and I wanted to take you through step by step how all the controls and effects work on that, how to make your own loops from scratch, and also what it's actually capable of. So if you guys like the sound of that, please consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell to keep up with future videos. All that being said, let's jump in and see what it's about. So then, let's have a look at all these controls and see what they do. So the first thing you're going to need is a 9-volt DC cable, which will be going in at the back, just here. After that, you're going to want to plug an auxiliary lead to get it working. So this left slot here. You see it power up. Cool. This thing has 99 different slots that you can put in as a memory, each with 2 tracks, and you can overdub those tracks as well. You've got the loop effects here, which are bend down, step phaser, sweep filter, tempo delay, and lo-fi, and these can be turned on and off using that button there, or tapping twice on the pedal on the left hand side. It has 2 tracks, both can be selected via this, and the volumes can be changed accordingly to mix it in how you like it. So this is the rhythm section. This is the output level here. This is for how loud you want the drums to be. This is the type here. This is to select from 9 different presets of drums. I'll show you those all later on. This is self-explanatory. It's the on-off switch for the rhythm section. And the last button here, this is the tap tempo. This is to tap in the tempo. You can do that one of 2 ways. You can tap it in via that, or you can tap it in via the pedal. Just to note as well, whatever you're going to play in, this should be able to match its rhythm. Something obviously a bit more complex is going to throw it off a little bit more, but generally it's really quite usable and pretty good. Another few things to mention here when we talk about the rhythms. You can change the time signature of the drums if you're playing in some other time signature. So it'll do a 3/4 and a 4/4 beat. To change that, what you need to do is hold the type down for a few seconds, and that's on a 4/4. You just need to change it into there for a 3/4. Press the type again, and then that's done. Another thing you can change in the rhythm section is the auto recording and counting and how the recording actually works. So when it comes set up, basically what you have to do is you'll hit the pedal on the left hand side to activate the loop, and you'll also hit it again to close the loop. But there are other features such as auto recording and counting recording, which I'm going to show you how to use now. To access these features, you need to hold down the tap tempo for a few seconds. This is on normal mode at the moment. Let's put it in a counting mode. We'll hit that again. Now that is in counting mode. What we need to do is we'll arm it by pressing the left hand pedal there, and it will give us a counting of the rhythm which we've selected for either 3/4 or 4/4, whichever one has been selected. And then after that counting, when it goes into that next bar, that's when it's going to start automatically recording. Another feature here is the auto counting, which is there. And what you'll do for this is you'll hit it like normal, it'll start flashing at you, and then as soon as you start playing into it, that's going to start the recording off there, and as usual, hit it again to come out. The only thing that you don't have to do is hit the pedal at the same time. It's obviously the only difference between the auto and the normal mode. I like it in normal mode, but obviously play around with it, it's down to everybody's preference. This bit over here is the mic. This is for how loud you want the mic volume to be. Pretty self-explanatory. Let's talk about these buttons here. This is the memory. Like I said earlier, it has 99 different banks in it that you can save things onto. You can scroll between the banks using those 2 buttons there. and if you want to write something into it, you press that once, it'll start flashing at you, and you press it again, and then that's obviously written into it. If you go off the bank that you're on after writing something into it but not saving it, then obviously when you come back to it, that won't be saved in there. The delete button works in a similar way too. If you've got something and you want to, you've used up all of your 99 banks and you want to make some more room on there, then you can just go up to it, press the delete button once, press it again, and that's gone and deleted. Okay, then let's have a look on the back of this. I'll take these cables out, spin it around so we can see. There we are. This here is for a stereo output. So if you're using stereo, you want to be putting your input for the guitar there, and the output for the stereo going into the amp just there. Likewise, on the mono, you want to use that left and left again there. This here is to add an additional foot switch to it. Not sure why you'd want an additional foot switch to it. Maybe if it was a pedal board situation and you only wanted to make this smaller, maybe you'd do that. This here is the USB out. This is super cool. Boss have got their own software for this that you can download from their website for Mac and Windows. It also comes with something else called Boss Tone Room, where they offer free backing tracks and drum beats to actually download and then put into your memory in there. I've used quite a few of them. They are really, really good actually, and I would highly recommend going to have a look at that. So what I will do is I will leave in the description the website for Boss and the downloads for Windows and Mac for that as well. This is the DC in jack. This takes an AC adapter like I showed you earlier. One other thing to mention when we talk about power here, to actually get this turning on, you're going to need something in the left mono output, and that will make it work in conjunction with either the DC in or the batteries. So that's the only thing that will make it work. If you have one in without the other, that won't work. So I think that covers everything on this pedal here in terms of controls. If you guys want to have a closer look at what I've been speaking about, I will also include in the description of this video the manual to this pedal, so you can just go through there and double check anything. Okay, so the next bit I'm going to run you through all the foot controls here, and we're going to get making a few loops. Okay then, so I'm going to show you what all the foot controls do. I'm then going to show you what is the loop effects and how that works in there as well. So I'm just going to pop a little loop into this and we're going to see what these effects do to it. So as you've seen there, when I wanted to start the loop, press down the left and then hit it again to close, and it'll start playing that back to you. If you want to stop it, just hit the right hand one there. Another thing to note with the foot switches, you can create a bigger sounding loop or add another part to it by obviously using double the channel. So what you can do to get over to another channel, you can hold the foot switch in and it will flick between the channels. So if I wanted to control the volume of something and perhaps didn't want to do an overdub on the main one, I would probably use that. So just to demonstrate that here. Okay, so we'll hit it, get into that by hitting that on the left, move over the channels by holding on to the right, and hit that when you're ready to start. One other thing to mention is that this other channel, what you're going to be playing into it, will only be as long as the one on channel 1. Anything after that will be classed as an overdub. So just be mindful of that when you're making your loops, how many bars you're doing, and just remember that as you're playing into it. So, get ready. There you go, just a little bit of improvised lead on top of that. So you can see how you can start building this kind of thing up. Mixing that in. If you're wondering how to kind of bring bits in and out and start doing with that, like I showed you earlier, tap once, stop it and activate it. And if you wanted to deactivate the whole loop, tap twice and that will deactivate it. You can then select which one you want to come back in on. Do that. To delete the track, you can either press the delete button here, or you can hold the right and the left pedals down simultaneously and that will be deleted. You'll be able to see that as it's been deleted because it has no colour in it at all. Okay, so the only other thing that I haven't touched upon is single channel overdubs. What you'll do to make an overdub on any of the channels, you hit it once to activate the original loop that's there, and then to make an overdub, you'll hit it once more. And that's when the overdub will start, and basically what it'll do when it meets back round with the end of the loop, it will then cut that off and put that onto the track. Anything after that that you're still playing into it will go on top of the overdub and the original track. I hope that makes sense. I'm just going to do a little demo of how you will do that. Hit it once to start, hit that once again to start the overdub. So you can hear that faintly added to it. If you don't like that, or you've made a mistake, or you want to take it out, all you need to do is hold in the left button until it says UN for undo, and then that will take it out of the loop. If you have a second choice, think, oh no, actually that wasn't too bad, I've made a mistake, or you've been too quick on your feet, hold the left down once more and it will redo it and put it back into the loop. Now we have our whole loop put together. I just wanted to show you what the loop effects do. So to activate these, you need to either press this on and off switch here, or you need to tap twice very quickly on the left hand pedal. You can cycle through using the type button here. So I'm going to show you what they do. So this first one is a bend down. Step phaser. Sweep filter. Tempo delay. Lastly, lo-fi. And that's the loop effects. So I just quickly wanted to touch upon the rhythm section. You can turn this on and off by pressing the button. You can set a tap tempo by tapping down on the right hand pedal, and that will set the tempo. You can also do that by pressing that right there and setting the tempo that way. Cool. So to add some drums into this, I suggest we get the loop going and press type to select through our drums, and we're going to kind of see what we like. This here obviously is the volume. Some match, some might not. turn that on and off like that. So that's just a quick cycle through the drums. You can obviously do that in any order. I've just shown you that all for demonstration purposes there. But if I were you and making the loop, I would start out with either the drum beat first and the tempo that you want to use, or if you have an idea that you want to write into it, write something into it, get that all in time, and then match that up to the drums, then perhaps start your overdubs on top of that. But I think that's the way that I'd approach that, doing that. Like I say, the reason I've gone through it the way that I have today, just for demonstration purposes along there. Cool. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to run through and just kind of use everything that we spoke about in that order, and I'll show you how to make a full jam just to leave you with it. So I hope you enjoyed everything. Of course, if you have any more questions or anything, I'll respond to everybody who pops a question down in the comments if there's something that you think that I've missed or something that you're wanting to know. So thank you for bearing with me, and I look forward to producing more videos like this soon for you guys. Hope you've enjoyed it.